Let me tell you about this unbelievable confrontation that went down in 1990 in Benin City, Nigeria. Seriously, it's a story all about faith, pure defiance, and this wild public showdown between a powerful archbishop and thousands of self-proclaimed witches. It was a battle that had an entire nation completely glued to their seats. 9,800. That's the number. That's how many witches and wizards were expected to fly in for their first ever international conference. And they chose Benin City as their venue. I mean, an announcement like that for a gathering of that nature, well, it sent absolute shockwaves across the country. And the confidence of the organizers was just staggering. They made this public declaration, not even God can stop them. That wasn't just a boast, it was a direct challenge. It drew a line in the sand. This thing was way more than a meeting. It was a proclamation of power, and it set the stage for a truly monumental conflict. So you can imagine, as news of this conference started to spread, these waves of fear and just general unease swept through Nigeria. Benin City, a place already steeped in deep traditional and spiritual roots, was suddenly thrown into the international spotlight for being the chosen ground for this unprecedented event. But here's the thing, Benin City was also home to another very powerful figure, a man who would become the central opposition to this whole conference, Archbishop Benson Idahosa. And his presence in that same city is what set the stage for the incredible showdown that was about to happen. Now, to really get what happened next, you have to understand the man himself. Benson Idahosa was not just any preacher. After having this major spiritual encounter at 17, he went from leading these humble little house fellowships to becoming one of the most fiery, well-known preachers in all of Africa. He was known for his absolute boldness and a faith that just did not compromise. He was definitely not the type of person to sit quietly on the sidelines. And he didn't. As soon as that conference was announced, Idahosa went straight to the airwaves. He got on television, on the radio, and he didn't just, voice his opposition. Oh no, he publicly declared that this conference was not going to happen in his city. Period. A war of words had officially kicked off. The media basically became the battleground. The conference organizers would make a statement about their plans, and the archbishop would come right back with these incredibly bold counter declarations. When he was asked on air what he was going to do to stop them, he just replied, "I'm going to kill all of them." It was a direct and frankly a shocking challenge. And it gets even crazier. When the press told Idahosa that the organizers were claiming not even God could stop them, his response was just audacious. He actually agreed with them. He said God didn't need to waste his time getting involved because I am here. He, as one man, was taking full responsibility for stopping this thing. So all of this back and forth in the media, it all leads to the inevitable, right? A live televised debate. The chief host of the Witches' Conference and Archbishop Idahosa agreed to face off, with the entire nation watching. The chief host, he went first. And for 27 solid minutes, he laid out his case. He was pulling from this huge, eclectic library to prove his power, citing everything from the Old Testament and ancient Egyptian texts to the mysterious 6th and 7th books of Moses and a bunch of other magical books. He was building what he thought was this absolutely unshakable argument. So after that long, detailed 27-minute argument, the anchor finally turns to the archbishop and asks for his response. And what he said, it was stunning. Just stunning in its simplicity. He just said, "I have nothing to say. The meeting is canceled." That's it. He just declared it over. Then, with the time he had left, Idahosa declared he would kill this man right there on live TV. Then he turned to the host with a simple, direct question. "Are you a witch?" And the host, after all that talk of power and ancient books, answered, "No." Now, even though the host denied being a witch on national television, he kept telling the media that the conference was still on. But it wasn't. The supposedly unstoppable event was, in fact, stopped. So, how did it happen? Well, it came down to this fascinating 1-2 punch of spiritual and political power. First, you had Idahosa's spiritual decree. He basically said, based on biblical principles, that the conference was bound on earth and therefore bound in heaven. But then came the second and maybe the most decisive blow. The Nigerian head of state at the time, President Ibrahim Babangida, had apparently been watching the whole debate on TV. He quietly sent out telexes to all Nigerian embassies around the world, instructing them to deny a visa to anyone trying to come into the country for that conference. So, in the end, not a single international delegate could get into the country. The whole plan just crumbled, and the international conference was officially canceled. The whole affair left this lasting legacy, and it completely cemented Archbishop Idahosa's reputation in a powerful new way. For the Christian community, not just in Nigeria, but all over, this wasn't just some political victory. It was seen as real, tangible proof of their beliefs. It was a sign that a bold, unwavering faith had the power to confront and defeat even the most intimidating threats you could imagine. And out of this whole wild confrontation, Archbishop Idahosa came away with a new, enduring title, Defender of the Faith. His actions back in 1990 became the defining story of his entire ministry, a story about a man who just flat out refused to back down, and whose influence was felt far, far beyond the walls of his church. You know, this story from 1990 is just such a powerful case study. It really leaves us with this fundamental question, doesn't it? What truly happens when one person's absolute, unwavering conviction goes head-to-head with a force that declares itself completely and utterly unstoppable?